Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it. My friend Jim once told me that he wished that he could stir fry without using any cooking oil, because he believed that cooking oil is the evil contributor of his condition of high cholesterol, which put him at risk of heart disease as well as the peril of having a heart attack. In fact, it is possible to stir fry without using any cooking oil in a method known as water-based stir frying. You don't hear about this method very much because most people do not think the food tastes the same or as good. So this circles back to the question, why cooking with oil make food taste good? This is a topic that I would like to address in this video of how much cooking oil that you should use that will give you the best flavor and maximum health benefits. Like everything else in life, cooking demands decisions that often is a compromise between health and flavor. When I was a child, the elders in my family always tell me that I should not eat too much candies, sugary soft drinks, or fatty food. But they never told me that I should not eat them. We don't have this food very often, only on special occasions. So from my very early age, I have learned life is about balance between what is good for you and what is desirable to you. So it is the balance between these two to be also important in home cooking, and in this case, the decision in how much cooking oil to use in stir frying. Everyone knows that frying makes food taste better, but is it the oil or is it the process of frying that makes food taste better? The answer is both. We like the taste of fat as part of our biological heritage from the ancient past. But frying also makes food taste better because when food is being cooked at a temperature between 250 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the temperature of the oil, food tastes better due to the chemical reaction of food molecules on the surface of the food ingredients react with each other to form new molecules that we find it flavorful. This chemical reaction is known as the Maillard reaction, and it is discovered by Louis Maillard, a French chemist, who described this reaction in 1912, and hence the naming of the reaction. And it is probably one of the most important chemical reactions in culinary science. Any cooking method that will allow the cooking temperature to be maintained will generate flavor molecule through this Maillard reaction. So in addition to frying, this includes baking, roasting, and grilling. However, frying has a distinct advantage over the other cooking methods because the oil can maintain a constant temperature to cook the food more evenly and also to prevent the food from charring and burning. There's been a lot of talk that fat is bad for you, which oil is a form of fat, because it would lead to the increase in blood cholesterol as well as in weight gain. However, it is important to make the distinction between animal fat and vegetable oil. Now, animal fat is strongly associated with heart diseases, but vegetable oil is not, and in some cases even protective against heart diseases. So I will leave it at this for the purpose of this video because to explain them properly will take more time than I have for this video, also without having the risk of putting you to sleep with all the science behind this. So let's now get to the practical aspect of the question, how much cooking oil that you should use in your stir frying. So here my advice is to use just enough oil to cook the food so that the Maillard reaction can take place to create flavor molecules on the food ingredients. Not too much or too little. This means that you want to have just enough oil during stir frying to coat the surface of all the food ingredients, because it is the oil temperature that determines the Maillard reaction. Any additional oil would not have any functional significance. Another reason for the food ingredients to be coated with oil because the oil protects the food from being burned, because the temperature on the surface of the wok is much higher. And this is readily evident when there is no oil during the frying process. Food gets burned readily. So the decision on how much oil that you should use to cook a particular dish depends on how much food ingredients that you're going to have. You want to add just the right amount of oil to adequately coat your food ingredients. And therefore, you will add more oil if you have a large quantity of food ingredients to cook, and you will add less otherwise. So in this case, my guideline is that after I start stir frying, I should have the food ingredients look properly coated with oil. But when I look at the bottom of the wok, I should have almost no oil standing there. It is probably not surprising to you if I tell you to adjust the amount of oil to use during stir frying depend on the type of food ingredients that you are cooking. Because some foods such as broccoli, mushroom, and eggplants absorb oil readily, whereas some other type of food ingredients such as green bean and cauliflower do not absorb much oil. And therefore, the same amount of oil might seem adequate with one dish, but inadequate with another dish. So from the practical standpoint, the amount of food and the type of food that being stir-fried will provide you an initial guide to decide how much oil to use so you can adequately coat the surface of the food ingredients to promote the temperature for the Maillard reaction and to adequately protect them from being burned. Therefore, I always try to start with a minimum amount of cooking oil that will sufficiently coat the surface of the food ingredients, no less and no more. And most of the time, my judgment turned out right on the mark, but sometimes I could be wrong. But I always try to be on the side of not enough versus too much cooking oil. I store my cooking oil in a squeeze bottle for the convenience that I could always add more as deemed necessary during the cooking process when I perceive there's a shortage of cooking oil. This will help me to minimize its use. Stir-frying is a cooking process that is both simple and complicated at the same time. Stir-frying is an extremely flexible cooking process. It allows one to make many modifications and adjustments to fine-tune the type of flavor that you want to achieve. And it is through exploring these nuances that makes stir-frying such a flexible, practical, and fun cooking techniques for home cooking over thousands of years. For those of you who are new to stir-frying, or even some of you has been stir-frying for quite some time, the technique might seem confusing from all the advices that you get from different YouTube videos, which in one way is a representation of the flexibility and diversity of this cooking technique. In future video, I will continue to try to break down the stir-frying process into individual aspects to help you with a better understanding of the cooking process, in becoming more confident in making adjustment to the stir-frying based on what you are cooking and what you want to achieve. I post a video each day to help people to have a better understanding of my fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir-frying, and template-based cooking, with the goal to help you make home cooking into a daily routine that is practical, creative, and fun. If you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.